Hi children, I hope you're all well. So we've got some shape, space and measure work to do today, and we're going to do some more measuring, and we're going to think today about length and height. So we've done weighing, we've done capacity last week, and then today we're going to look at length and height. So I'm just going to give you a couple of seconds just to have a think. What do you think the word length means? Have you heard that word before? And what about the word height? Do you know what that word means? Height? So when we're thinking about length, it's how long something is. So you might measure the length of how long a journey is. That could be length, or it might be the length of your shoe you might measure. And when we're thinking about height, that's how tall something is. So I wonder if you ever get measured at home, or maybe if you've been to the doctors or someone like that, they might measure you there. And you have to might stand up, say, stand up nice and tall. And if you've been to a theme park, they do this as well before you go on the rides. So you stand up nice and tall, and they'll measure how tall you are. So the height is how tall and length is how long. So we're going to have a look now at a story from somebody called Sophie, who's measuring her sunflowers, and she's measuring the height of her sunflowers. So let's have a look. It says, welcome to my garden. My name is Sophie. My favourite flowers are sunflowers, and there are lots of them in my garden. I'm going to use my big bricks to measure each flower. Would you help me to measure my flowers? I wonder which sunflower is the tallest. So thinking about that word measure, what does that mean? So when we measure something, it tells us something about that thing. So we've measured the weight, so how heavy something is. Last week we were measuring the capacity, so how much we can fill something. And this week we're looking at height and length. So we're measuring, so Sophie's going to measure how tall her sunflowers are. And she's going to use today some blocks, because we can use rulers, children, and we can use meter sticks or tape measures. But we can also use other things to help us measure as well. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a bit. But Sophie's using blocks today. So there she goes. She's got a block in, there's her sunflower, and she's got a block in her wheelbarrow. Let's measure this sunflower. Click the wheelbarrow to build a tower of bricks the same height as the sunflower. So I wonder if we can make a prediction. How many blocks do you think that sunflower is going to be? How tall and in amount of blocks do you think it's going to be? 1 block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, 4 blocks? What do you think? Let's see. This sunflower is, let's count with me, 1, 2 blocks tall. This sunflower is as tall as 2 bricks. Can you tell a friend how to measure a sunflower using bricks? Or just have a think. Can you think about how we can measure? What things have we got to do to measure? So it says, make sure the tower of bricks is the same height as the sunflower. So you don't keep going if you're using blocks or anything. You don't keep going. You stop when it gets to the top or where it gets to the end. And it says, top tip, when you measure a sunflower, make sure you place the bricks right at the bottom of the sunflower and measure all the way to the top. And make sure that your blocks or whatever you're using are close and touching each other, not having big gaps in between them. Okay, so we've got a taller sunflower now. What do we think? How tall do we think this one's going to be? Just have a think. How many blocks? Okay, let's give it a go. So we've got 1, 2, 3. 3 blocks tall. Okay, so what do you notice about the height of my sunflower, and my height? What do you notice? Well done if you said they are the same. So Sophie, the sunflower, and the 3 blocks are all the same height. Okay, next one. What do you think it's going to be? Let's have a look. Did I measure this sunflower correctly? What do you think? Has she measured it correctly? If you said no, why not? Well done if you said because she didn't go to the top of her sunflower. Let's see, I think she's going to do it again now. See if she does it right this time. There we go, she did it right that time. So how tall was it? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this sunflower is 4 bricks tall. Am I correct? Is she right? Yes, she is. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Ooh, what's she done there? Have I measured this sunflower correctly? What do you think? She measured it correctly? If you said no, why not? She hasn't, because she's gone too high up. She hasn't stopped when she's got to the top of the sunflower, has she? Let's have a look. She's going to do it again. This one's very tall. I wonder how many this one's going to be. We have found the tallest sunflower. How many bricks do I need to make a tower of the same height? So how many blocks did she use? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well done, good counting. Here are all my lovely sunflowers. Can you point to the tallest sunflower? Which is the tallest? Well done if you said this one here. Tallest is kind of the biggest, but the biggest in height. Not the biggest this way, it will be the biggest in height. Can you point to the shortest sunflower? Sunflower is the shortest. Well done if you said this one. That means the smallest height. Can you point to a sunflower that is taller than me? Is there more than one answer? A sunflower that's taller than Sophie. Is there more than one answer? Well done if you said this one or this one. They are both taller than Sophie, aren't they? If we look, Sophie stops here. This sunflower is the same height as Sophie. This sunflower is smaller or shorter than Sophie. And these ones are taller than Sophie. Thank you for helping me to measure all of my sunflowers. Maybe you could try growing and measuring a sunflower too. Now, I don't think it's the right time of year to plant sunflowers just yet, but we can do that when we get back to school. But we are going to do something else with our measuring today. Before I tell you what you're doing today, that was measuring in height. Now I'm going to show you how we measure the length of something. So I'm going to just show you. Okay, so I've got some items here. I've got a banana, I've got a dolly, I've got a phone, and I've got a foot. And I'm going to show you different things that we can use, and you might have these things around your house to measure with. So it might not be blocks, like say if you had, it could be something else. So we're going to measure this banana in using Lego bricks. Okay, so just before we measure, just have a think. How many Lego bricks long do you think that banana is going to be? Okay, let's see if you're right. So we're not measuring how tall the banana is. So we're not going to go up this way. Okay, if I had the banana here with me, I wouldn't be standing the banana up and counting upwards. I'm going to count across. So I'm going to move the Lego. So we've got 1. So I'm going to start at the edge. So can you see I'm starting right where the banana starts? And I'm going to put my Lego bricks right together. 2, 3, and I've got 4. Now, it's probably not quite 4 because it's just hanging off the edge there, but it's about 4. So this banana is 4 Lego bricks long. So that's how I've measured, and I've stopped as I've got to the end. Well done, even though I've got some Lego left. Okay, next one. Let's have a look. We're going to measure my dolly now. Now I put my dolly down on her side. Remember, I'm not measuring how tall my dolly is. I'm not standing her up and measuring upwards. I'm measuring how long she is. So I'm going to use buttons now. So you might have some buttons in your house that you can use. So I'm going to start at your feet here. At her feet, not your feet, at her feet. So here we go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this dolly is 5 buttons long. Its length is 5 buttons. So we've measured the dolly now. Okay. Now we've got a phone. Now you've got to pretend, children, that this phone is down flat. I'm not holding it up like I've got my phone here. I'm not holding it up upright. So I'm not measuring this way. I'm holding it flat down as if it's flat like this. And I'm going to measure along this way here. And I'm going to measure it using some pasta. Now, my pictures of my pasta are a bit funny because they've got a block around them. But when you do it with real pasta, you'll be able to push the pasta together. So I'm going to go down this way, but the phone is flat, remember. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this phone is 6 pasta pieces long. 6 pasta pieces long. Okay. Last one, we've got a footprint, and this has got something similar to what you're going to do in a minute. So we're going to measure how long your foot is, or how long this footprint is to start with. Now, it's always good when you're measuring a foot to start at the big toe, because that's the bit at the top. So again, we're not measuring how tall this foot is, we're measuring the print, we're measuring how long it is. So we're going to start at the big toe because that's the top. So I'm going to do it over this side here. Lost my mouse, over this side. We're going to use these maths cubes here now. So we're going to start at the top of the big toe. And it's actually easier on here because I've got lines. So I can go right up to here. We've got 1, 2, oh, let's push that a bit closer together. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This footprint is 7 maths cubes long. Well done. Okay, so that brings me on to now what I would like you to do. So you are going to draw around your foot. So you might want to get some paper or something like that. Put your foot on the paper and draw around it. You might need an adult to help you so you can get all the way around. And then I want you to find something in your house, and just like the examples that I use, it could be blocks, Lego bricks, pasta shapes, buttons. If you've got any kind of little maths cubes, you could use that. It could be anything, but nothing that's too big, okay? Because obviously, if it's too big, then it's not going to show very good units of measurement. So anything that's kind of small and you've got lots of, you can use. And I want you to measure how long your footprint is, and then see if you can write that number down and then what you've used. So for example, if you use Lego and your foot was, let's say 10 Lego bricks long, you would say, put next to your foot, you'd write 10 Lego bricks. Okay, so that's how long your foot is going to be. And then I want you to see if you can find a way of measuring a person. It could be yourself and somebody helping you, or it could be a brother or sister, or it could be mummy or daddy, who whatever grown up you're with today. It could be you're going to see if you can measure them. So you might have a measuring tape in your house, or you might have something that you record your heights on. I know some families have that in their houses where they've got something on the walls they stand next to and they record their height. So you can have a look and explore that as well. So or you can use the units like we've been using, so with the Lego, or you can use pasta shapes or whatever. You're just going to have a little explore at exploring how tall somebody is. Okay, be it quite hard to do with something that won't stand upright, but you can give that a go just for practice. But see if you've got any kind of measuring tape or anything that you can put on the wall or anything like that, or a ruler. So I've got a ruler here, and this is a really short ruler. So if I was going to measure how tall somebody is, this probably wouldn't be a very good thing to use, but it's the only thing that I've kind of got in my house. But if we're looking carefully, if we just look at the top here, we can see they've all got numbers, and this is measuring us in centimeters. Now, normally when we measure how tall somebody is, we measure them in meters. Or we can use centimeters, but it just means the numbers will be very, very big. So when you're exploring with the measuring tape or whatever you're using, you'll be able to see all these numbers. But this is measuring in centimeters. So if I was to measure how tall my head is, for example, so I'm going to start at my chin, and I'm going to just put my finger there because I know that that's the end of the ruler because I've run out of ruler. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to go to there, and then about there, let's say. So that was on 8. So this is 15 centimeters long, and I'm going to add 8 to that to make 23 centimeters. So I know that my head is 23 centimeters tall. So as I said, you can explore and you can use whatever you like to measure how tall somebody is, and also use whatever you like to measure how long your foot is. So you're looking at the length of your foot and the height of yourself or somebody else in your family, and you can use whatever you want. You can use a ruler if you wanted to measure using your foot as well, if you've got one. So whatever you want to use, you just have a little explore and see what you can find out and what you can know, and see who's the tallest and how tall everybody is maybe in your family. Okay, so I hope you get on with that. Okay, and I look forward to seeing what you get up to. Bye.